Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, this video is going to be a recap of NXT's Halloween Havoc. Yeah. I got to keep it real with y'all. This was not that good. This was not that good. But you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we started off NXT's Halloween Havoc with the North American title ladder match. The competitors, we had Nathan Frazier, we had Wes Lee, we had Von Wagner, we had Carmelo Hayes, and we had Oro Mensah. Now, for the most part, this was a pretty solid match. A lot of crazy spots. Definitely, especially with the springboard Spanish fly that took place. And not only that, just a lot of different spots. I mean, it even had Von Wagner being crashed through a ladder. Trick Williams interfered, of course, and even had a moment. So everything in this match was good until the moment where they had Trick Williams and Robert Stone going up the ladder trying to get the belt. Like, that's one thing I'm really starting to hate about ladder matches, is when managers or folks that aren't even in the match, or, right there by the side of whoever they're, managing or whatnot, and they gotta get involved and actually try to climb up the ladder and retrieve the title or case or whatever, just so that they can hand it to, their wrestler. And I hate when that happens. And it's a good thing that's not how it went down, but it was just really annoying seeing that segment happen during this match where you had Robert Stone and Trick Williams both on the ladder, going up the ladder trying to get the title down. Of course, Robert Stone was in Von Wagner's corner. Trick Williams was in Carmelo Hayes' corner. But aside from that, I was actually pretty shocked at the outcome. I was very shocked at the outcome. I was thinking Carmelo Hayes was going to get the title back, but sure enough, Wes Lee, formerly one half of MSK, was able to get the title and is your new NXT North American champion. Honestly, not who I expected. And you know what? I'm happy for him. I like Wes Lee. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Wes Lee has kind of sort of been bullied since being, a singles wrestler after the whole Nash Carter thing went down and he got released. As a singles wrestler in NXT, he's pretty much kind of been bullied. So, I don't know. I feel like this was a really big comeback for him to win this ladder match and become the new North American champion. I mean, it's pretty neat. And like I said, it's so surprising because, he was getting pretty destroyed in this match. Von Wagner tossed him from the ring onto the announce table. Like, that was a sick spot. I did not expect him to come back later and win the match after a spot like that. That was probably the sickest spot in the whole match. That crucifix powerbomb just tossed him from out of the ring and onto the announce table. That was crazy. Crazy spot. Really crazy spot. But hey, Wes Lee is your new North American champion. Pretty good match. Hey, surprised by the outcome, but I don't mind the outcome, to be honest with you. Now, well, no. I'll save it for when we get to that match. Next up, we had the casket match. It was Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller. Honestly, the fact that this was a casket match, in all honesty, just really. I mean, I understand it was a whole spin the wheel, make the deal sort of thing and, whatnot. But my whole thing is, for this matchup between the two, a casket match, just the way it was done just seemed pretty lame. I mean, they first had this wooden casket. It gets busted through when Apollo Crews gets tossed onto it. And then the lights get dark, and all of a sudden he's gone, and right in front of the entrance ramp with the guys in the hooded outfits bring out a new casket. Like, really? That's all that really happened? Like, that just seemed very lame. And why would you have to turn the lights out in order to just do that? Like, it made no sense at all. And honestly, it kind of damaged the match quality, personally. I mean, Apollo Crews ended up getting the victory, pretty much kind of sort of like giving Grayson Waller a sky high, or almost kind of like a choke slam into the casket and shutting the lid. But honestly, this match was kind of lackluster. This was a pretty lackluster match. And the whole thing with the lights going out and such, just it really just downplayed the entire match because it was really unnecessary. That was really unnecessary. Anyways, next up we had a Weapons Wild match. Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. This match was alright. But I just felt like it could have been more intense. But I mean, they did have the balcony fall spot, that balcony trust fall spot, and I mean, it just, I don't know, seeing Roxanne kind of chase around Cora Jade with a skateboard was just, I don't know, it was just kind of weird. But the match was okay, I guess. I mean, these two have a nice rivalry going on, and, Cora Jade has kind of had the momentum in this rivalry. But ultimately, it made sense for Roxanne Perez to get the victory here. She hits her with the pop rocks on a set of chairs, gets the 1-2-3. So, I mean, for the most part, the match was all right. I mean, we saw a bit of everything: chairs, kendo stick. We saw them crash through the balcony. I mean, Roxanne got stuffed in a trash can and kicked around a couple of times. So I mean, it was all right. But it wasn't the best. Next up, we had the ambulance match between Julius Creed and Damon Kemp. Of course, the stipulation is if Damon Kemp wins, then Julius's brother Brutus is out of NXT for good. This match was okay. I mean, it was pretty back and forth. Went inside the ring and arena, and then kind of went backstage a bunch, which that's where the ambulance was, so it makes sense. There was a pretty sick spot having Julius block the door closer while he was in the ambulance, and the door coming down on his fingers. That was a crazy spot. Did that a couple of times. It was like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, dang, that was crazy. But other than that, I mean, it told the story. It did what it was supposed to. I can't say like it was very memorable or very like, oh my god, that was an awesome match kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was an ambulance match. It was pretty straight to the point. Nothing really crazy. I mean, they had the stipulation, but I figured Julius was going to win, and sure enough, he did. Pretty much did enough damage to Damon Kemp. Picked him up like a sack of potatoes, tossed him into the ambulance, slammed the door, and that was it. Drove off. He got a chance to celebrate in the ring with Ivy Nile and his brother, Brutus Creed. So, pretty much makes sense, the outcome. Just, the match, I wouldn't say the match was special, but I mean, it told a good story. It did what it was supposed to, pretty much. But I wouldn't say that it was very memorable. Uh, and then the next match was definitely the worst match of the entire card. This was the NXT Women's Championship match. Alba Fire challenging Mandy Rose. So they had this really dumb cinematic segment earlier in the show where Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray, challenged Toxic Attraction to come to this haunted house, meet her in this haunted house. And pretty much Alba Fire just took each one out one by one, and then took Mandy Rose, captured her in their car, and drove back to the NXT arena. Did all that, got the major upper hand on Mandy Rose, only for the rest of Toxic Attraction to come back near the end of the match and pretty much interfere and cost Alba Fire the title. Like, how the heck does that make sense? You have her pretty much take out JC Jane and Gigi Dolan in that haunted house, which there's no telling how far away that was. Alba Fire captures Mandy Rose, takes her back to the NXT arena, where you think it would just be one-on-one, and then just at the last minute, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan come back and help Mandy win. Like, what's the point of all that? What was really the point of all that? And Mandy Rose is still champion. Just like that. Like, what was the point of all that? Like, was that cinematic segment even necessary? Was it even necessary? It wasn't necessary. Honestly, they could have had the women's tag team title match instead of that dumb segment. Like, because the segment didn't even pay off. It didn't even pay off. Like, what was the point? And all of a sudden, Mandy Rose is still champ. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, she's not a good champ. And with, Kaylee Ray being knocked off, now I don't even have an idea who's going to be next in line to challenge for the title, because it really makes no sense. And it's like the same similar kind of thing happened with Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark took out Toxic Attraction, had the upper hand so much, and then just, she had to use Zoe's knee brace in order to win. And then Alba Fire takes out Toxic Attraction at that haunted house, comes back, captures Mandy Rose, but yet that wasn't enough. Still interference, still helped her win. It makes no sense to me, and it's ridiculous. It's like, dang, can Mandy Rose even win a match on her own? I think the last match she even won on her own probably was just the triple threat unification title match against Blair Davenport and Mako Satomura. That's probably the last time, or maybe the only time, she's even won one of these matches on her own. So, overall, that match was terrible. Just the whole concept behind it and how things went from the whole haunted house segment to the match was pure trash. And then you also had that segment with Quincy Elliott and Shotzi Blackheart pretty much being confronted by Lash Legend. Shotzi takes out Lash Legend, which of course this is going to lead to a match on NXT. Lash Legend and Shotzi. So, figured that was coming. But the main event was a triple threat for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker defending against Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. Overall, this was a great match. This was definitely a great match. All three were showcased really well, and you know it really could have gone either way, especially between Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov. It really could have gone either way. Saw a torpedo, saw the Gorilla Press Power Slam, a beautiful Asai moonsault from JD McDonough, a beautiful 450 as well. Yeah, JD McDonough, he can fly now. He can fly. Don't be fooled. He can fly. But, I mean, it was a lot of great spots. Him catching Ilya Dragunov with a counter Spanish fly was pretty nice. But it took a spear from Braun Breaker to Ilya Dragunov as he was prepared to run in for another torpedo. He hit him with a torpedo the first time, was going for the count, but JD McDonough caught the referee's hand before he could hit the mat a third time for the three count. But Braun Breaker, after the spear, gets the 1-2-3, and he is still your NXT champion. So Braun Breaker was able to outlast JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov. Still your champion. There's no telling how long he'll be champion, because I know there was a lot of talk about him possibly being called up to the main roster, but don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So we'll see. We'll see. But overall, Halloween Havoc, it really wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. But it is what it is, but it really wasn't that exciting. But that's pretty much all I have for this. Let me know what y'all's thoughts were. What did y'all think of Halloween Havoc? Did you enjoy it? Did you like the matches? Did you hate the matches? Do you think it was a good show or not? Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. And thank you so much for watching. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.